So, whoops. Welcome back to the second half of Hacking Infinity, the Eschaton. Um, yeah, so, the, uh, Adazer, your character's name is, Pteranodon, uh, and am I spelling it correctly in, the Roll20 chat?
Pteranodon.
Okay.
One of the flying ones.
Like that. That correct?
Here, I'll just drop it.
Okay, yeah, much better.
Because I think I spelled it wrong on my sheet almost immediately. There.
Okay, and I am actually remembering to update names on OBS rather than hours later. And this is shocking. Okay.
I mean, that and we started before 1. We're just clipping along. It's a brand new era. Welcome 2018.
Crazy.
Here, I throw. Here.
Oh, man. Okay. Then Luke. As boat. That down slightly. Okay. Cooking with fire. And that's done.
All right.
Okay.
Now I just want a katsudon. I'm so hungry all the time. Fried chicken with gravy over rice. Pickles on the side. You're like, no.
You lost me at pickles.
Yeah, that's why they're on the side. I didn't.
Oh.
I actually thought about it. I'm like, I should put pickles. I'm like, some people might like that. I'm like, so my brain's like, well, if you say they're on the side, it's okay. I'm like, all right, good thinking, brain.
No, you're right. I missed it. I'll...
Okay. Boys, consider it. Yes.
So, Pteranodon and your Uplift project, is this okay? So, is your entire contingent on these ships, or are you like sharing space with some on somebody else's world?
I think it's one of those colony fleets above a world where scientists have special labs. Like we have an arrangement with the world that we're on trying to uplift to, like, it's like a nature reserve. Like, you have to apply for a grant to study at a nature reserve. It's one of those situations. Like, we've applied for a grant to uplift the species on this nature reserve as an experiment. but we aren't funded by any outside organization that we know of. Yeah, we're just researchers.
Okay. And in applying for a grant, you've like reached out to the like local governments in the system to try and get their
like whoever owns this
or
planet.
local committees, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Maybe not that much reaching out.
I mean,
like,
you totally could like just start the project and then try and get approval later.
We didn't talk to like the neighbors. We talked to the person who owned the house. Like.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there's definitely somebody who owns this planet who we talk to. It's one of those things like renting a house to grow a garden. Combine those two metaphors. I'm real good at metaphors. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Imagine if your house was a nature reserve. A garden was a research project.
All right. So let's before we move on, I'd like to learn a little bit more about this world where you're doing the uplift. So
sure.
Let's do before we do the like initial...
Do we need a new background galaxy? Because this is the old game background galaxy. Okay. Our galaxy looks exactly the same.
It just so happens that the next system over is identical.
Yeah. It's like the space version of Suburbs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like the IKEA flat pack system that Capstone just churned out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a barren star. We'll just put up a herd of food there.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah. Unfortunately, don't have somewhat limited options in terms of laying out a new one without taking...
Just do a new page and drop the image down as a background.
Sort of.
I don't know what your layout is, so I can't. Also, it's Pteranodon the Exalted.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Because they are chosen from the masses. Have a U in it? No, it does not have. Or an H. Ugh, a terrible word.
Go to this new page and paste. What am I pasting? Oh, that's black. Let's start with that.
Pteranodon the Exalted, Force Commander of the Hollowed Spire. That just...
I am Boat.
I love it. Could we talk about what our characters are while you set this thing up before we get into the game? Since we sort of decided quietly amongst ourselves. I'll go first since I'm the loudest. My gender is female. My body is dainty. My eyes are double multi-purpose. My clothes are adorable. I am timid, though. So nonetheless, my bond to my good friend is that I think they're keeping an important secret from me. I really want to figure out what that is. My focus is 0, my suave is 1, my badass is 2, my synth is -1. It's hard to type when your hoof gecko hands keep sticking to the hollow keys.
Enjoy failing all of your re-sleeving rolls. I know that stat line well.
You shall see. I am a troop commander, which means I'm the head of a gang-sized mercenary organization. And I am armed to the teeth. Let's see. My surplus is scientific inquiry. My need is nationalism. My org descriptors right now are city-sized and theocracy. I am called the Hollow Spire. On each person who belongs to my gang, separate from the civilization, I have I'm just going to say chameleon cloak. I have a vac suit. I have a holographic projector, a spindle. My gang / city has 4 fast armed spacecrafts, and I have a portable transmigration / re-sleeving tank. I think my low synth fits for that because we stole this tank, so we may not know exactly how it works, and we never really wonder about that. Yes, that's my person. Spook, who are you? You a boat?
I am Boat. My name is Boat. I'm a boat. I'm a space boat. I have state-of-the-art weaponry. But I think of myself as being state-of-the-art in general, whether that's mechanically relevant, just how they see themselves. I have an avatoid that I use because it makes people more comfortable. They don't like talking to the boat for some reason. Organics, shrug. Its gender is asexual. The body's very streamlined, but I think they probably customize it. Like if they were to be going to chatting to a squee, they would make like a kind of robotic androgynous silver squee, and if they're talking to some monkey descendant, it would be, more human. The eyes tend to be reflective. They don't wear clothes on their avatoid because it's silly. They don't have junk. Their challenge is that they are idealistic. They just want to make the universe a better place. I think the squee organization is tragically backwards with their theocracy. I'm keeping an important secret from them, but it's only to protect their little feelings. I ran with a data stat line last time, so I went with the nice and balanced one. Focus 1, Suave -1 because organics shrug, and then Badass 1, Synth 1. Woofy 1, I'm battle hardened, so I get +1 to direct conflict. So I essentially have Badass 2 when it matters, and +2 morale, which seemed good. I also have troop commander because that's the standard one, and for my gear, I am boat, which is one of them. I spent 2 on getting drones with state-of-the-art weapons, and then another one getting drones with the stealth drones, who are the sort of sneaky ones. My crew is kind of like a bunch of idiots. Their hearts are in the right places, but they're not really very good at anything. Some of them are a bit Antifa-y. Some of them are, just people trying to make the world a better place also, but I mainly just keep it around to humor them, and because organics tend to get concerned about the idea of a ship flying about with no squishies on it. So I keep them around for mainly appearances, but also because their little feelings matter to me.
You keep a lot of pets?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say my org stats are influence 1, influence 1, control 1, and morale 5. So
influence -1, control 2, and morale 6 with the +2 from battle hardened. My surplus is political activism. My need is motivation, and we're an ad hoc organization because organics shrug.
Well, yeah. In an adhocracy, you never know when you might need to adapt on the fly. It's perfectly rational. So yeah, I wanted to go through the procedure for generating the world where the uplift is being done. I guess let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and then let's definitely do rolls to see how your organizations are getting along.
Also, as well, might it be prudent to say that the world where the uplifting is happening is also the world where I'm trying to liberate? Now, this could obviously be on the other side of the planet. They don't have to be linked, but it's at least just a reason for our characters to be like in the same space. Because I think that was like the biggest problem with the last time we did a Eschaton was that everyone was sort of being pulled in different directions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, part about the Eschaton of being an autarch is you have your own thing. You don't have to interact with people. So forcing people together sort of was the struggle of the first couple of games. So setting us narratively together at the start is great.
Okay. Sure. Let's do that. I hesitate a little bit because I want to make sure that the scope is across multiple worlds. But yeah, sure. Let's start with the one so that you're like interacting from the get go. Okay. No, it's been too freaking long. See, is that a? Let's just use check head mail for the for the leader of the organization, the citizen of this planet we have not yet named, and then we can also talk a little bit about what their what their government is like. But if you
but quick start, right? Since we're speed running everything.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So sorry.
That's right.
So under social moves, if you go to check head mail, there's like a list of traits grouped into appearance traits, vocal traits, personality traits, yada. Dazer, if you want to go ahead and pick one of
So not
those.
on our character sheets on the sidebar.
Right. It's something that I will write down. You don't even have to worry about it.
Well, I need to look at it. Yeah. Okay. Because so you said under social moves check head mail. On our character sheets there's social moves and check head mail. So I wasn't sure you were referring to the thing until you had like finished 3 sentences.
Sorry.
Yeah, so on the sidebar.
Yeah, on the sidebar because on your sheet it's not going to show the full move.
Yeah. Okay. Just pick. Yeah.
Just pick one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was like, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. It like. And who's the sound cut out for like
the barbarians, or is it for the planet, or is it for the people who own the planet? Is it for who I'm uplifting? Who are we deciding?
This is first for the citizen who is in titular control of the planet.
Okay. I think they are tentacled.
And can I pick like any kind of trait, or are we doing like any appearance kind. And then? Sorry,
any kind.
Any kind. Okay, cool. Well, they're not perfect, so I'm scanning for like a negative one. Let's go with debauched. They're debauched.
Somehow knew you were gonna pick that.
I am a big fan of debauchery.
Yeah.
And wrong with it's like an override. overriding character trait or work or something. Sure.
A tentacled, debauched.
Under other circumstances, this would be the best friends.
We're not playing Magical Girls right now. We're playing Hack and Eschaton.
Oh my god, I hadn't even thought of that. Oh, I'm gonna have like meet to her tentacle dream for a week.
How have you not thought of that?
Okay,
That's the first.
I sprint at the tentacle monster and leap at it and be like, squee!
You roll a 3. You disappear into the tentacles. A squishy, slurping sound is heard.
Guy doing what I love.
Okay, and I'm gonna add the vocal trait of accented, and it's sort of valley, like
Oh God.
Hopefully that won't be too.
It's perfect.
Okay.
Any other voice could have gotten like overtly sexual with all of our jokes that I plan on making, but now I can't make them anymore. So I get.
Okay. So that's good or bad?
That's good. It'll keep us on target.
Okay. Cool. Let me So I think that's enough to cover them, other than like a name. Go citizen, and if everybody has a name that like.
Their name is O. Henry.
Okay. Is there a reason behind that name, or is it?
It's a good name.
Okay.
It's a proud name. And in case you didn't catch on, it's an author who wrote like the Magi's Gift, I believe, and Gift of the Magi, Caballero's Way, Ransom of Red Chief, which the plot is, spoiler, Ransom of Red Chief, in which 2 men could kidnap a boy of 10. The boy turns out to be so bratty and obnoxious, the desperate men ultimately pay the boy's father $250 to take him back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. I'm looking for the thing under units. Okay. So on the let me see if this is in Roll20 under set moves, convenient acquisition. Nope. Okay, so it's just in the campaign doc. You all have that handy?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll have to like.
That was 100 years ago.
I know. Hold on, I'll get you.
I only have so many tabs open.
Yeah. Let me get you that link. Of course, my browser is being slow because.
Sure. Can you just make a new character sheet and Roll20 so it's all in the same thing? Or make a handout in Roll20 so you can just pop it up. So, because also I'm on a laptop that less tabs the better.
Okay. Well, okay. So I can't,
Google Doc kind of slows it down.
I don't think it'd work very well to put the whole doc on a tab, but what I can certainly.
I thought it was just the info for this person.
This relevant part, yeah, and for them. Okay.
Play testing, folks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to share paper. Speedrun.
We're working it out.
I mean, we started playing before like the 3rd session, so technically this is a great speedrun.
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah.
Making progress.
Sort of.
Yeah. Faster every time.
Getting almost competent at it.
Yeah.
Well, with that, so like with the speedrunning thing, so obviously taking, say, like I've only taken one organization descriptor, which is like a speedrunning thing, but then at the same time, it might be nice in gameplay because obviously I've been resistant to the organization aspect of the game, and so then when things happen in your organization that you really are responding negatively to, it gives you some space to then almost counterpick the bad scenario with an extra descriptor that can help you out, so then it doesn't feel like you're having your sandcastle kicked over.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like you have all of these descriptors at the start and you're sort of like, these are the things you have to do because these are the descriptors you have. It limits play and what you can do, being so defined at the start.
Mm-hmm.
But then I play in a lot of high improv games, so maybe that's just my bias talking. Bias towards rule sets of 10 or less.
I mean, I find the whole notion of like things on your sheet that you don't roll very odd in general, really. I've always just tended to play games where that stuff is just like in your head. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's like a good thing for a lot of people. I just find it peculiar, but I do find it compelling.
So, yeah, again, I apologize for the disorganization.
We're breaking new ground.
So I did create a handout called unit traits. Okay. You should be able to see. Dazer, if you would like to pick one of those to apply to the O'Henry's government.
Sure. I think they are. You said Valley was the voice.
Yeah.
I think they are patient, just laid back. Hey, Sarah. The universe will deliver what it will.
Okay. And Spook, could you, from organization descriptors, pick one?
Sure. So once again, I'm going to try and make it a mean one. Well, I don't think we've seen a caste system yet, so let's go with that. Or at least I don't think that I have seen a caste system yet in the game, so let's have a go at that.
And ancient caste system. Let's hey, maybe that's enough.
Speed run.
Yeah.
I'm nodding. Sure. I'm nodding my head.
Okay. Go with that.
Okay.
And let me make sure that that's visible. Yeah. Okay, so there's some basic info on Citizen O'Henry.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go ahead and find out how the Hallowed Spire is getting along.
We're great. Everything's fine. It's wonderful.
Possible. That is a possible outcome. If you could roll your troop commander, and right now it's set to NA for the stat. I think it could be badass or suave.
Badass.
Okay.
I think it's focus.
Focus. To give commands or servants, it's suave. It's focus normally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my third guess.
Of the 4. Just make sure there's nothing. All right, troop commander. Boop. I did it. Did it work? I missed. That's not great. That is very bad.
Okay. So yeah.
My need activates.
Yeah, everything is going fine except that your people are feeling kind of nationalistic.
Yeah.
Which I
For future Brad, could you make it so that surplus and need can be expanded so we can see everything?
Just running into that problem.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna open it up in open up the surplus and need handout just so that we can look at it. Okay.
I'm also dropping it down in the notes at the bottom. So nationalism is the need. It's just at the very bottom of them. Okay. Surplus is.
Okay, so you're going to be making a move of my choice.
Oh. We haven't even started yet.
Right from the start.
Oh, wow.
The first
welcome
thing that
to my
happens
life.
is going to be that.
Welcome to this game as a Force Commander. Okay.
Oh, no. Nobody tells me. I'm going to be collective again.
So, but before we resolve that, let's get the greater context of how things are going with Mortal Matters.
Yeah.
So it could.
Okay, let me strength. Okay, I've absorbed the Earth's energy. What you're seeing right now is my normal state. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's quasi. I'm not rolling them. Oh, okay. This is a Super Saiyan.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
the new normal is politically active.
This is what's known as the Saiyan that's ascended beyond Super Saiyan. Oh.
Okay.
I'm so happy. A number 12 has never pleased me more.
That's wow.
So for so your assert political pressure is going to be at +1 for this session. So you can just mark that. Probably best to mark that in org moves, and then we need to remember to unmark that at the end. So let's see. I think that unless anybody has an objection, I'm gonna designate in Roll20 this planet that I'm doing the circle in yellow as the one that is being contended over right from the outset, and that needs to not be white. And if anybody has a strong feeling about the name, go ahead and shoot. Otherwise, I'm just gonna call it dirt. What dirt?
But you have to spell it weird.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like DJEER''T. That is space.
DGEAR apostrophe T. Nothing. Oh, okay. No, I like that better.
So I was looking up what the Swedish for dirt was because I like the idea of the solar system being like a mass-produced IKEA flat pack solar system. But then the internet was like, oh no, actually IKEA's Dutch, and the word for dirt in Swedish is smut, which I'm a big fan of. But yeah, the more you know, the more you know.
So, how long have you been? Have you like just gotten to dirt? Or
I think it's been a couple of months.
Have you been there?
Like enough to put down a base and sort of like lead inquiry and like start to do the initial assessment of them. Like we obviously like kidnapped some secretly earlier, but this is like our first, maybe 3 to 7 months of time worth, enough to set up a base and get started.
Okay. Yeah, I think that there and like, did you go out of your way to make sure that where you're set up is like far into the hinterlands from the rest of?
We want a secure location.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if there are like barbarian tribes, we stay away from them. Like part of the agreement is like just we're doing research on this one thing. We don't want to be disturbed by people. So
also, I think in the game terminology, you're actually a barbarian.
So I think what happens is that a contingent of O'Henrys like kind of strays too close to where you set up camp, and the squee on the ground react negatively to this incursion.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely take they just disappear into the jungle. We definitely take them into or incorporate them into our experiments.
Well, let's see how that goes.
That is our intent.
Yeah, if you could roll direct conflict.
Sure. I mean, we're researcher theologians. There's a word. I know how to say it. Just not right now.
Theologians. Yes.
Theologians. Direct conflict. Was there a thing about direct conflict, or did I not take that one? Hold on. It's a thing. It is. No, that's just okay. All right. So direct conflict.
There's probably like an option to take.
No, I'm very tiny. They're very big.
Oh no. Well, this is going swimmingly so far, huh? Whee! Okay. So.
Really so fast.
Yeah. Oh, and I sort of. I actually jumped the gun here.
Oh, okay. Let's ignore that dice.
Oh, no. Let's not ignore the dice. I mean, let's not get crazy.
Let's do it. Let's get crazy.
Well, okay. Actually, no. Let's just go with it as it is. Normally, I would.
What happens?
You before taking doing an organization move, you would buy the unit that's doing it, but this is like sort of spontaneously organized rather than
planned.
You
a surprise attack by enemy forces.
Exactly.
Us. Onto them.
So go ahead and well, I'd say choose 2 from the direct conflict list. But your organization's want is already activated.
Yeah. So I get a new want,
I mean, I guess
and
you
lose
could.
The morale.
Yeah. So yeah, you lose the morale, and then choose a new want. It's not yet active.
Okay. Well. So choose a new need.
Yes, need, want. They're the same thing, right?
This game has gone through a lot of transition. Just really, yeah. So it's not active. I think reprisals fits. When activated, an NPC organization comes at your organization with full force. I mean,
that totally makes sense.
We just attacked their people, so yeah.
So
reprisals.
So I probably should have asked this before you rolled, but since it was being forced on you rather than you choosing the action, it's a little bit different. But how do you go about or how does these renegade squee go about attempting to repel this incursion?
I think it's like the reason it failed is because they're literally a bunch of researchers. Like there aren't many. Like there's a couple of security guards, and I think they're they like saw them on the monitors and they got all riled up and they tried communications, but like for some and it like zoomed over and like the satellite was knocked over, so it wasn't the people's fault. And they're just like, since they are recently uplifted and not what they actually think they are is this long term civilization, their uplifted programming got a little like their natural instincts kicked in too strongly, and they just like went into the forest and like dropped the lab coats at the door, kind of thing. Yeah, and just went feral for a moment. Like they could still like talk and communicate. They weren't completely. Yeah, but I think it's a backlash from their dark secret that they don't know about. Yeah.
Okay.
Like with the darts and with the clinging to trees, like dropping down. But I mean, they're little, and O. Henry has a lot of tentacles, so.
Yeah. Okay. So it isn't O. Henry himself, themselves that
right.
that
I'm
shows
sorry.
up.
I'm used to dealing with a collective, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
either way,
some of their people, and I think that they are they are actually of human stock, but like the fashion here on Dirt is to essentially be in to essentially be like a ball of tentacles, like that.
They're wearing kigurumis.
Yes. So yeah, when you when your people come up, dart tongues flying, they kind of roll into their ship and melt a bunch of poor squee into the forest floor.
Since you mentioned hinterlands before, maybe the terrain isn't like forest and jungle, like maybe it's like alpine and mountainy.
Okay, sure.
So that's like when they went to their base instincts, their instincts help them in like where there's more tree cover, or like vines and roots they can hide behind. With things like alpine forests, it's like a flatter floor, and they just weren't adapted to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just wasn't enough brush to hide under
yeah,
after the initial, right? Yeah.
And there's like at one time during this thing, there's like a goat that's like and then it turned around, and then like 3 squee are like clinging to the back side of it, and they just like evaporate them. Yeah.
So brutal, so mean.
Yeah.
But you have a relieving tank.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. Okay. So as we open,
it all happened so fast.
Yeah. As we open, you're getting word of this disaster, this massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on planet? Are you on ships?
I think I'm on like the 4 ships are sort of like in a diamond cluster, like slowly rotating above the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does so are is Pterodon like on a bridge on
okay, so
in their quarters?
Here's the opening scene. It's it's like the Darth Vader thing, like music starts playing and you hear like the click click of feet, and then you realize like there's too many feet for like the 3 shadows that are moving along, and it zooms up like this completely armed, like very serious little tuft of fur as it just like prance along, and they're getting like handed like little reports, and they're like picking them up with one of their weird hands. Or no, it's floating because they have to walk on all fours. So it's like moving data reports and like video capture that's all scratchy, and they're not. Yes. All right, I must report to the council. This is terrible. And then like the secretaries like dart off, and like a soldier dick shows up. You can tell because they're like 2.5 feet tall and not just like the 1.5 foot. Yeah, and they like nod silently and step in front of these doors that are like this. You can't see from the thing. Yeah, but dwarf-sized doors. They're impressive if you're little. And they like slide open, and it's kind of dark, and they step forward into this like low lit room, and there's like a column of light, like with their soldiers standing next to them, and then like one by one, like the clergy council, whatever it's called, I'm not sure yet. Like beams light up hooded figures on this like stand, and a voice is like, "What is your report? What happened on the planet's surface?" And yeah, they give a report of what happened.
Okay.
That.
Cool. Let's see. So
and like it can cut there too. So.
Okay. Well. Yeah. I mean, unless you specifically want to just cut it right there, let's let's go through the whole procedure of. Do you want? Okay, so I mean, you kind of laid out who's there, but do you want to open it up to the possibility of boat, like contacting you right as this opens, or
it's everyone's world. Whatever you guys want to.
Well, okay, I'm just laying out some options.
Yeah, I could be like the sniveling squee giving the report, and then you can express your displeasure to them. Because yeah, I don't know if Boat would get in touch that soon.
Sure. So yeah,
and do you want to play my eager wharf squee that's 3 foot tall and maybe has an auxiliary set of eyes built in? Yeah, that's like you're like super buff, but you still have like super tiny legs, like a Doberman pincher. Yeah. just real little.
Awesome. Okay.
And so, did you say you wanted me to be a wolf? Was that what you said?
A war-ready squee.
Oh,
but
sorry.
Worf works too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Play Worf as a tiny deer.
Yep.
Imagine if you will. A dark Worf, where there a deer. A deer Worf. Dear Worf, I'm writing you. I'm having trouble with my auntie.
That sounds awesome. I think that's all the detail we need to on the unless you want to pick a name.
Dwarf.
Yeah, their name is Dwarf.
Okay.
D''WORF.
All right. So it isn't Worf giving the report though, right? They're like on the council.
No, they're next to me. They're my right hand.
Okay.
Squee.
Your right hoof, Squee.
Yes, my right hoof head Squee. Yes, that's what it is.
Okay. And just so I don't fuck this up, so the one giving the report says.
So I'm giving the report.
Oh,
the secretary brought me information that I looked at. It
was
like
now
one of
you're
the
reporting
generals
it to
marching to the
okay.
council situations. Yes.
Sure. Okay.
And just before I went into the council, my right hoofend, like stepped by my side, and we went through to the clergy chambers to report our findings. Yeah. So Brad, you would be the council.
That's all. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's the characters that's left.
So do you want to lay out your take on the report, or I can jump directly to a reaction to it? But that might be less fair.
I think I explain it to. It was a terrible mistake. Our people were caught off guard, and perhaps it's something in the air we'll have to research further, but they briefly lost control of their higher faculties. It's incredibly unfortunate, but I'm sure if we make apologies, we'll be able to correct this altercation before it goes too far. Several of our...
This could be our opportunity for more orbital bombardments.
We don't have many left, and last time we tried, we really only destroyed like a small mountain, and they were like, thanks, we were going to get rid of that anyways.
I feel like the next orbital bombardment will work, though. I know the last 5 haven't gone too well, but I feel if we just keep...
We did destroy an IHOP, which is a great stride for all of us.
Certainly, there must be vengeance of some sort. These tentacled interlopers must see the light.
But we have to be careful. We know the tentacled interlopers follow a stricter system than we are giving. That's why we are there on the planet, to sort of like make new friends. Literally make new friends so we can preach to them. It is about numbers, after all.
Well, certainly they can become friends after they have seen the light, while they are still heathens. How can this...
Friends with heathens? I think like some of the other people on the council, like...
Rabble.
It's like, yes, I know there has been discussions about expanding our doctrine, but it seems so soon. We've only been off planet for a few decades, a handful of generations at best. perhaps if I don't know, these creatures are so hard to talk to. They don't have any pheromone orbs, or they only have one set of eyes. It's very confusing. It's still a lot to adjust to. I'm sure we all agree on that.
Their size and stature is monstrous as well.
Yes, it's grotesque how large they are.
They must be cleansed! Cleansed!
But we must focus on completing the uplifting. The tentacled interlopers are but a mere distraction from our making of friends.
Yes, friends. Like in the shadows, there's like people watching.
Okay, so I think that I think this is a pretty good juncture to see how.
Don't make me roll again.
See how this. Oh yes, no. How convincing them is going. Like they could totally be on board with the friends first thing, or maybe not. So
okay.
I think this is Mandarin. Although I mean you can try and set up some other role, but I think that this is,
and it's focus. So I think I noticed some dissension of opinions in the clergy council, and some voices in the crowd sort of saying things. So I begin to quote doctrine at them, because I wanted to try to give a command to denizens or spirit servants, like to appeal to their religious acumen, like where you follow doctrine. I want to redoctrinate them. I want to remind them of their true abilities. But it says to command denizens or spirit servants. Does that mean like only people below me that I can apply that to? Because if not, I'll just roll a regular focus roll.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think the way that's worded, and I should maybe remove the spirit servants part, but it's definitely like targeting rank and file rather than.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, I'll just.
I think this is more.
I'll just roll regular.
So.
Should we discuss some things first?
Yeah, I think we need to discuss it a little bit more.
Okay.
I mean, this is definitely some sort of social move, and so the question is whether or not it falls on whether or not it falls under manufacturer consent. Is it being put in a sense that it you're just trying to make it sound like a reasonable course of action, or is it like, no, you must do this, or else? Like, how does being friends benefit the council who's riled up?
Yeah, I think I just start talking about. I think it turns into a filibuster. Honestly, like I'm just like talking a bunch of scripture and our plans until they like their pheromones reset to like listening status, and then I'll say, and that's why we all agreed before, and we should continue, like, stay the course of uplifting those people. So I think it turns into like I just talk for a long time at them until their sense reset.
Okay.
And since I have the status I have. Yeah, Spook?
Oh, I interpret that as a manufactured consent, but obviously...
Yeah, that's manufactured consent. Yeah.
Okay. I was yeah, okay. I was starting to lean towards I mean, it's not directly giving an ultimatum.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not giving an ultimatum.
Threatening them. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. So this happens to be perpetually as well. So I think we've maybe discovered that, I don't know if everyone, but certainly Force Commander needs a resist inside influence move, where this is actually should be one of the moves that Force Commander has, because this comes up like all the time as Force Commander. So yeah, maybe this needs to be its own thing of like resist inside influence, because this happens every day to Force Force Commander
every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is sort of like you're beginning to create a clock for me. So no matter what happens, I get a clock from this scene because you make strong moves against Force Commanders. That's what you do. That's your modus operandum.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess what I'm trying to determine is by quoting scripture, you're just sort of delaying till till they calm down, rather than appealing to their sense of duty. Is that accurate to say? Or
I'm doing the filibuster. I'm quoting the scripture. The filibuster is just a way to explain the change in mood of the room by the time I end it. So like, and the role could change all of this. I'm asking them to not act irrationally, not give themselves to the lowly and barbaric tendencies that some of our researchers fell to.
Okay.
And they're not all dead on the planet yet. Like they're still there. But
okay.
Those 3 on that sheet are definitely dead.
Okay. So
yes, it's a manufacturer consent roll.
I think that this does not trigger manufacturer consent. I think that the way you're describing it to me,
frame an issue in the way that makes reasonable course of action. I'm talking about like, this is what we agreed to. This is what we planned. Like that's
okay. Fair enough.
Like I'm not threatening them with violence. I'm not trying to bribe them. I'm not causing them harm. Yeah, that's the thing with the social moves. There aren't a lot of moves to do. It's one of like 3 things.
Yeah, for sure.
Out of interest, though, what did you have a specific role in mind, Brad? Or
I was just I guess I was thinking that it wasn't specifically framing it as well, not so much that it wasn't reasonable, but that it was it wasn't specifically appealing to making it seem like it's their best interest or their duty. But I mean, the way it's written is just a reasonable course of action. So what I was going towards was just making it a resist outside influence role. But go ahead and go with manufacturing consent. I think that's
so well. Let's talk about, like you said, resist outside influence role,
which could actually be inside influence. It's outside of like your will, but inside, even though it's inside the group. Okay. I mean, it could refer to conflict within your organization.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that I could try and use that on my own people.
Oh, well, so that's
good. Yeah. Now that we've sort of like opened up that can be used that way, I think that makes sense. I was just looking strictly at social moves. So I was like, well, there's like 2 things I can do.
Yeah.
And one, it isn't an ultimatum. So.
But
so
go ahead.
I'm just gonna look up resist outside influence. Just so I can
go ahead and roll as manufacturing consent. I think that's fair, and that's definitely more advantageous for you and a reasonable call.
Okay, because resist outside influences use established media to prevent an NPC organization from influencing your role. plus control, which actually makes sense because I'm using the scripture to stop the clergy council from influencing me. So that would make sense if you wanted to do that. I just hadn't considered that as an option.
Yeah. Unless you specifically want to do it that way, you can go ahead and do manufactured consent. And
well, I mean,
that's gonna be better
from what
for
we were
you.
talking about, like it makes
either is reasonable.
That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter if it's better for me. It's the thing that applies most accurately to. I know I'm screwing myself over, but most accurately to the rules that you've written. And I know some of them are like from different versions of the game, but I think that this definitely fits. Resist outside or resist inside influence. Resist influence.
Well, the thing is, I think that
because, like we said, either way you're going to start a clock.
Yeah, I think either one of those is a fair interpretation of the situation and of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So by all means, you can pick which one you.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the resist outside influence. And also, it's like mechanically, it's the same number, anyways. And I think this gives you a chance to mechanically force a clock instead of just pulling one out of the aether. Because if I did manufacture consent, it does not have that ability for you.
I don't have to. But sure, let's
run into short game. Speed run.
Yeah. Go.
Right.
Go,
Speed
run.
Right.
Woohoo!
Perfect. I did it.
Okay. Wow, your Roll20 hates you today.
So my last couple of games, like the fights that I've had as the GM versus all of my players, there were so many like over 20 rolls in last night's game. It was ridiculous.
So this is just balancing it out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get a organizational descriptor. And do I have to pull that from the list of organizational descriptors, or can I make one up?
You do have to pull that from the list of organizational descriptors because they all have mechanical.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's not just the words. Okay, so I will get I think what do you guys? Anything calling out for you guys? That's an idea.
Let's see.
Demarquee government leadership positions are assigned randomly.
I don't know if that really fits what we've seen so far, but we haven't seen very much so far.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the council could say something like, we gave you this position and we could take it away and give it to somebody else. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't object to picking that one.
Okay. I will get that.
I could also see like restricted information. Communist.
Parliamentary.
Sure.
Yeah, like they're like they mentioned like you're only a figurehead in this. Like you have limited power. You have some power, but we're the true force behind the people here.
Another one to consider is anocracy, where we're seeing to some degree competing factions.
I like that one. So, yeah, let's do that one. Let's just because I was thinking about like something like schism. So that definitely yeah. All right. Anocracy.
Okay. And be sure to mark on your sheet that you get a +1 to. Okay.
Infiltrate.
So be sure to mark on the specific moves that you get a +1 to infiltrate. a +2 to direct conflict, and then under the stats move from control. Okay. So they so in quoting scripture, they there's definitely a the like a couple. I think like there's like two people on the council who just like quote scripture back about how if about how if that one must not turn the cheek. One must face the infidel with tongue and hoof.
Yeah. If you turn a cheek, you lose two eyes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And there's but there's also another group that wants to just move camp, hide better, and work hard on uplifting this other species quickly, so that they can be a problem for the
right. Yes, that's real good. Okay. Yeah.
So
after that, does the clergy council dismiss me and my dwarf friend?
No, they don't dismiss you because you're still you still have like more support than the other factions.
Sure.
Not enough to get this to get people to calm down right now.
Sure.
But it doesn't. But you're still like the most influential person in the Spire.
Okay.
Now, there's an opportunity before we do scene close stuff. There's an opportunity to do to set up some sort of organization move if you'd like to do one.
Yeah. I just got a
probably
+2
a good
for
idea, but
conflict.
Yeah.
Which is real good. Make sure that saves. Yeah, I think I want to rally against the dissenters of like pushing immediate violence, because I think the understanding between me and dwarf is once we have more people on our side or more creatures on our side, we haven't discussed what the uplifting animal is yet, but I have an idea. Because of the large grotesque nature of most humanoid things, we need to have more muscle on our side. And I think, let me just make sure I read this right. When your organization attacks one, directly roll control. Ugh. On a hit, my numbers have not been great, but I do get a +2. Advance the clock. As a target, no longer being able to effectively oppose you. Yeah, I think I use a Hamilton quote, like letting your idols blind you to reality. And yeah, since I have these voices on my side in public, I try to move against them to weaken their stance. And yeah, I would like to roll direct conflict.
Oh, okay. So direct conflict would probably be like arresting them or something else.
Oh, not like
it's
in
not
an
like
open
just
forum
talking to
debating them.
Direct conflict is not a debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is generally firing guns at them to change their mind.
All right. It's a violent move then.
It is inherently.
Yes. Yeah. It's bad. It's plus badass. It's time to die, everyone.
Remember those good old days? Those are fun. So what would you, as it asserting political pressure then? Is the more gentle one? Like, you know those rules. Like, I haven't read all these little rules. What would you say I'm trying to do?
Okay. I think there's two different directions you could go with what I think you're looking to do. You could assert political pressure to try and change what the aggressive faction is about, what they're trying to do, or you could restructure to attempt to add another descriptor to your overall group that might make them easier to contain. Okay.
Because we're in this scene right now. Like, restructuring is a larger event.
Yeah, this would be sort of a longer term sort of thing that you're setting in motion.
So can I use this scene to assert political pressure?
Absolutely.
Okay, then I would like to do that.
Okay. So before you make the assert political pressure roll, you need to again. This is asserting this political pressure is more of a long-term thing than a short-term thing.
Okay.
So
then is there a role I can do for this scene to?
Absolutely, as part of this scene.
Okay.
Sorry,
I'm just not understanding.
Yeah. Well, there's this two-part thing to it that I'm not exactly sure I want to keep.
Yeah,
but it's
when I'm
something
reading,
that
I'm like, that's
okay. So the thing to do first is that you need to have within your faction sort of propagandists who are pushing this pressure. It's not just you. That's why it's an organizational role. So you would need to.
So narratively, it's not just about this scene. Then it's about developing your organization more. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what's happening right now versus what moves are actually accessible.
Okay.
For some reason, it's just not clicking.
No, yeah.
I apologize for folks who are watching or like other player. It's
this is setting up the direction of things between scenes, like where this is setting up where this scene is leading to.
Okay. So like towards another scene or towards like the downtime, we're not going to talk about it, but we're going to come back and things will have changed thing.
Essentially towards this will this is both like structurally building on where you want to go on like a meta sense, and it could easily affect what's happening in the next scene where you're the focus.
Okay. All right.
So, like, basically, as a Force commander, you constantly have like a Jon Snow clock. And when it fills up, you get Jon Snowed, and you're basically deciding how you want to roll to see, how long you can delay getting Jon Snowed.
Okay, all right. So I think that helps. I'm probably still thinking in the scene-to-scene mindset of collective, and I'm not thinking of building up your future version with a Force commander. So I think if I try to think it like that, it's.
And a lot of it, if you think about the idea of like NPC faction turns, this is like your sub-faction of the religious council.
Okay.
How whammy they are to your jammy right now.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, cool. Okay. All right, thank you.
So,
sorry, it was just wasn't clicking, and I was like trying to think of it from like the previous games that I've played of this particular game, and I just couldn't slot it into anything that made sense. But it was a totally different build kit, so sure.
Also, spoiler alert: Jon Snow fails his troop commander role.
Pretty badly.
That's probably what's going to happen here.
Okay,
be honest.
so
Looking at my dice.
okay, so mechanically, before doing assert political pressure, we need to do a convenient acquisition to pick up the
propagandist.
The propagandists.
Okay. Now, do I need to do anything before doing a convenient acquisition?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not that bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
and
it's
clunky, and I'm probably going to want to change things. But
yeah, this is why we have these playtests.
Yes.
It's just figuring out how things work. So I'm playing it. Cost of the asset.
Yes. Okay. So this is.
So we do have to do a thing.
Well, I just need to. How is that not there? The unit propagandists, I believe, is Yuwafi, but
so there's no way I can do that.
Oh, really? Well, no.
I have 2 Wuffy.
Oh no, that's fine. That just means you're -1 on the roll.
Okay.
Okay. Let me in the right area. Yeah, 3 Wuffy. So.
Okay. Cost of asset 3.
Yeah.
Submit.
Yep.
1. I nailed it.
Wow. Okay.
So on my last 6 dice, I've gotten 4 1s and 2 2s. I'm glad we had such a long discussion about what to roll and how things will affect if it went well, but I'm pretty sure I need to retire this character almost immediately.
Oh, you still get the thing.
Yeah,
it's just now it's evil.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay, now I need to open convenient acquisitions and rate that.
Yeah, on a miss, the MC chooses 1. You either don't get the asset, you get it, but your Woofy is permanently reduced by 1, or we do the interesting one, which I will do, which is the strings attached to the problem, or the strings attached to or problem with the asset makes it worse than not getting the asset in the first place.
I think I'm ready with the boring one. I just don't get the asset. Like I'm having this speech and I didn't prepare anything. It was an immediate response to an immediate response. There's no prep for sudden dissent in the organization. I just don't get it because I didn't plan for it.
Okay. Well, you can choose that option.
I do.
Okay, but let me lay out the. Let me lay out what the other option is. What what the strings would be if you choose to accept the asset.
So, like, Brad, no one is going to accept the asset when you're smiling like that, describing it like we.
You were so excited before you started to read off this third option. I was already like, "Oh, I just don't get it." And you're like, "But wait, here's the thing. I'll do if I do it." And I was like, "I'm just gonna not get it."
It's just too bait. It's just too bait. You can't.
You have no poker face, Brad. You got none of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not trying
it's like anti-poker face.
The thing is, I'm not trying to deceive you as a person. It's totally okay that that I take joy in the idea.
We're all having fun here.
This tainted gift. I think
sounds fulfilling when you say it like
that. I think that if you did decide to accept them, the propagandists would be continuing to spread propaganda even when you even after this they'd have a bunch to say and there'd be a clock. Okay, so so no propagandists for now, and you don't get to assert political pressure.
I have no. Jean has grown confused and angry at this rule, and wishes to move on from this scene.
Okay, noted.
To be completely honest, because we are friends here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I do not think that I can
totally see
give
how
any
this
more
is, this
to.
is,
Yeah.
This has gotten kludgy and will need to be revisited.
One thing I do wish to do, like
Mm-hmm.
as we leave, no matter what happens between then and as we leave, I talk to Dwarf and say something akin to the fact, I believe you had some ideas on how to deal with dissension. As we like walk down the hallway, and like that. Yeah.
They kind of just like nod knowingly, as if like I know what you're talking about. But,
yeah. I have some holograms you can look over.
Yeah. And I think as we close the scene, in addition to that, there's a brief discussion between the aggressive faction and the hide and breed faction, and the aggressive faction is just trying to rile them up, and they do kind of stoke their fears, but don't get them to join into this whole idea of lashing out again.
Sure.
But I am going to start a clock. Hey, clocks!
Yeah, I knew that would happen. that was determined a while ago.
Yeah. But it is not the aggressive faction that's doing anything.
What, you mean the church is gonna do a thing?
I think Portile is fine. And this is visible, right? This
Where are we
on
looking?
the screen? On the little 20 screen?
Yes, it's a 4 o'clock.
Okay, yes.
I always have a bunch of like character sheets and tabs open, so I never know what you're referring to when you say something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this clock is the uplift unleashed.
You could also call it something like the Crusades.
Yeah. So
save that title for something.
Yeah, we haven't figured out exactly what the uplift species is going to look like. You said you had.
I have some ideas, but I kind of want to see if anything better pops up in the meanwhile in somebody else's scene or narrative. I was thinking just to put it out there, just giant beetles, like that the Dick-Dicks could ride into battle on. Yeah. But we'll see.
So yes. I have a voice I use for giant beetles already.
Perfect.
So,
or like the rust monsters from D&D.
Yes.
Like the claws.
That's kind of cool. Specifically, the rust monsters against like all this technological stuff.
Yeah. We'll figure out.
So, I think that the scientists among the hide and breed faction are working on a system to on a replacement system for the giant beetles respiration, so that they can support truly enormous beetles. Okay, so Boat.
Hello.
Hey.
It's a boat.
You are your useless people are all excited about the political possibilities going forward. The caste system on Dirt is so oppressive, so such a breach of what the Eschaton stands for. And I don't know whether or not you've received any direct word of this, like the conflict that occurred on planet.
I mean, if my military advisor advises me to seek an outside assister,
I do have stealth drones hidden all over the planet as well.
It is certainly possible. I think it'd just be a roll.
Sure. Would it be like search the mindscape, or do you know what it would be?
Yeah, it'd probably be search the mindscape. But before you jump into that roll, let me fill in a little bit more, and you can like set the scene as well. So there definitely has been some traffic from O'Henry complaining that outside adjutants are like totally uncool. Like they're harshing the entire mellow of the planet, and maybe they just need like an attitude adjustment, man. Like a serious attitude adjustment. Oh. So where is your avatar? Are you as we open? Who are you talking to? Are you like on ship? Are you like in a mindscape call with somebody?
Yeah.
What does your ship look like? Or what do you look like?
So at the moment, I guess I'm just. Have I been? I suppose as I'm in talks with the O'Howards at the moment, I'm probably like my androgynous silver avatoid, but I've probably got some like perfunctory tentacle-esque things. They're probably just like the smooth things that don't have like suckers or anything, because it's kind of like low detail, if that makes sense. It's like features that smooth it out, and they're probably like on. The ship doesn't really have like a bridge or like a war room. It doesn't have a lot of like functional rooms. It's just like a variety of like mess halls and swimming pools and just like nice things for the people. And they're probably like on Sun Lounger, and there's probably like some particularly swole individual who's kind of like oiling the droid. And then while this is happening, they're in the mindscape, having a chat with one of the O'Howards, I presume, or possibly even O'Howard themselves.
Okay. Sure. So, in the mindscape, do you have do you have a particular idiom that you like to use for your environs, or do you just conform to theirs because you don't care, or would it be more of a melding of the two? I think O'Henry's by default is well. There's just it's just like uh, O'Henry themselves on a golden dais, surrounded by sumptuous foods, exotic drugs, and these like sort of squid-like beings that are like all playing around in their tentacles, giving massages and other things.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like the setting, yeah, I don't usually bring like a background with me. I usually just like plump in and like, I think Boat finds the physical avatoid as silly as having like a ethereal one, so it's probably like a slight mirror of O. Henry's, so it's like kind of like their one, only sort of silver and a bit more low, yeah, a bit more low angular.
Okay. And do you have anyone from the ship like patched in with you for the call?
They're probably watching, but they're probably not patched in, and they can maybe like type to me things that they think are helpful.
Okay. So, Dazer, do you want to play an advisor? Do you want to possibly pop in later as the conversation goes? Where
so it's in the mind space. In the mind space, he's talking with O. Henry. I think Spook can have a moment there. I may pop in. We'll see.
Okay.
If there's an opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe when the call progresses, we might want to actually bring in Pterodon as like to actually get everyone talking to each other. But yeah, we'll just start off with the two of us, I guess.
So, Boat,
Valley voice.
Yes. Oh, yes. I totally appreciate the call. Of course, always.
You just sound sarcastic. Like,
yeah.
yes.
Always so cool to talk with you, but I do have a bit of a, let's just call it a situation going on, and it's kind of a bummer. So I don't know if you could just lay down, and I'll see if I lay down what you want, and I'll see if I can pick it up.
Well, I want you to change your whole point of view on things. I think that the things that you're allowed to be shouldn't allow to be. I think that people should be free and that love should exist across this grand space. And I'm going to make you accept that, whether you like it or not.
Well, again, I don't want to be a bummer myself, but you know, freedom isn't free. The you know, my people, they they could be all on the same level and all have access to the same stuff. And I know that sounds like it's like a better deal all the way around, but no, like if a couple people have access to, say, like a cornucopia machine that spits out viruses that kill everybody else, then that's no fun now, is it? That would be like totally bogus, and we don't want bogus. So if everybody has their own place, then nobody gets slammed by uh, a designer virus because only I have the printer for it. Like that, it's just like better that way, you know.
Sure, I think it would
the
be
whole
better
planet
if
doesn't.
organics didn't have access to that sort of thing. I think that none of you should have it, but you should have your freedom, your lives, your loves. This is basic. This is indisputable. Your arguments are old. They're from the time of scarcity. We're done with that. No, I shall not allow this to be.
Well, okay, I totally get the whole HAL 9000, early post-singularity thing of yeah, you have a brain the size a computronium brain the size of a planet, and you know better than us organics, like totally.
I do not know better than you because my brain is the size of a planet. I know better than you because my heart is the size of a planet.
Yeah. Well, I am totally sure that you're convinced of your own opinion, and your own opinion is cool and all that. But
do not mistake me, friend. This conversation is a formality for your benefit. I will either remove your people or remove you, whichever proves the least problematic. But this shall not continue. Your people will be free.
look, man, you can spout all the threats you want, but I mean, if you're totally threatening to like do something like totally uncool and military to to my whole planet or my whole like civilization and stuff, we can get the committees involved and see what they say about it. I don't think they'll be cool with that.
Oh, I would never threaten your planet. It's got millions of people on it. I'm threatening you.
Well.
I mean, I've got drones that can see you right now. You're wearing yellow flip-flops.
On their tentacle legs.
Well, okay, so this is totally this is totally giving an ultimatum.
Should I roll declare an ultimatum?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hashtag spirit bomb. Lend me your energy. Okay, it begins.
All right,
fair.
all right.
I deserve that.
Boom.
Well, you used up all the 1s and 2s. I gave you some 3s and 4s, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So, actually, okay. Before I go ahead and resolve this, I think there's a moment before O'Henry reacts where Boat, you see that they're totally not going to knuckle under, and you could bring in say Pterodon to like add to your argument, but whether or not you want to do that is up to you, and they may decide not to be helpful or not to be helpful, depending.
I guess maybe I'd approach you like, and I suppose there's another matter. What's this I'm hearing about you and the squee?
Oh, well, that was pretty uncool too. They totally unprovoked, just like tried to kill a bunch of folks. It was utterly bogus. So yeah, they had to like defend themselves, and it got a little bit ugly, but
I'll make you a bargain. I will try to smooth things over with you and the squee, put their attentions elsewhere, and in return, you should give your people freedom.
Yeah.
You cannot
Can I
take on
just
a
say
throne.
that bargain sucks balls?
The harshest of tokes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they totally don't comply. They consider you an enemy,
Do you want to patch me in first?
Oh,
as a witness to their cast violence, or not? That's okay. Either way.
Yeah, I feel now is the time that we would patch them in. I almost feel like he would patch them in, but I don't know if that's just me being crazy.
No,
yeah, I'm
not inclined to. No. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Side conversation. See if Pterodon wants to help.
I think.
I guess I called Pterodon.
I think like as they're about to say, like Addictus just like pops into form and then like drops the foot to the ground and is like.
Okay. Oh, and I guess I should preface by saying, Pterodon, you receive a mental knock via the mindscape.
Oh, sure. It was voluntary, but it's still hard for me to reconcile.
Yeah.
Our people haven't experienced this mindscape.
Not very much. Long. Yeah.
Even though we think we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just think like that's how you enter. You just drop a couple of feet. I mean, that's what happens, right?
So I should say that it seems to be coming from Boat, but it is theoretically possible for somebody else to like spoof Boat's ID and
yeah.
like
no, we love and
contact
trust
you. Okay,
Boat was one of our first friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. By all means, go ahead.
They carried us to this galaxy from our home planet, for which we lived thousands of years on.
Nice.
Yeah. So they dropped down and like, hello? Oh,
I'm hearing disturbing rumors you attacking people on the surface.
We defended ourselves, and I have the records to prove it. And I like show like little bubble pops up like Wicked Witch style, and like them trespassing onto our green land, and some of it's edited lightly. But you know how big these creatures are compared to us. We had no choice. They wouldn't respond. They were walking in with all sorts of strange mechanical devices. We tried to stop them. You know what our planet we subdue. We don't intend for people to get harmed. Still many. The sheep has no, like, we didn't have him. He's dead forever. They're just kind
of. Would I have to do? Is there like equivalent of like an insight check here, where I can say determine that the footage has been tampered with and stuff like that? Is this a scan? Maybe I'm not sure.
Search the mindscape is not like super time critical. I mean, it's sort of like it's happening in a short period of time, but I don't think that I think it's more search the mindscape.
Okay, so not to be like the annoying idiot who translates everything into D&D 5e, but search the mindscape is like in the perception, and then scan is like the investigation, if that makes sense.
Other way around. Search the mindscape.
Oh, other way around.
Investigate.
Okay.
Scan is perception.
Okay, well, I'm rolling search the mindscape. I'm bringing up the tab that's got the things. Oh, both rolled success. Yeah. 3 numbers.
I think there's like one bubble that's like but there's like little bubbles that are like floating off of it that like near you that like have more information on them, and you can kind of see like maybe some of our scientists dropping their, like, I think the phrase I used, dropping their lab coats at the door and rushing off into the alpine wilderness.
Yeah.
But everything I'm saying is technically true.
Okay.
They're like Avatar shakes its head.
Yeah.
And
so
if I had
just to, sorry to interrupt, but so in succeeding, you can ask a question about the situation from that list, and then a follow-up, which will probably reveal that something's being held back or edited, but maybe not. Let's see what you ask.
Yeah. And this is what Boat notices.
Uh-huh.
Not O. Henry. Oh, Henry.
What, man?
What move category is it under? Sorry, there we go. Information moves.
Ask me your questions, I'll tell you no lies.
So, does it have to be one of these questions, or can I just be like...
It totally has to be one of these questions.
Totally has to be. So what is the relationship?
The relationship between is
sure. So what's the relationship between the science team and the people who showed up?
Hostile. You think? I think as the Henry sees like this, but as the things blah blah, you because of what you know, you realize that their reactions were very animalistic. Like they were like, oh, let's respond, let's do this. They're not responding. They must be invaders. Like that clicked over. Is like our territory must be protected, even though we're like renting the land or whatever it is we're doing. It was very reactive. Yeah, we didn't set out to hurt them, and we did. Our intention, I did mention, were to bring them back to our base for reasons. Yeah.
And I think you also get that O'Henry's people were just kind of going from A to B. They didn't know about the settlement or know that it was right, in their path.
Yeah.
But once they were attacked, they showed no mercy.
Yeah.
And is this question just for Pterodon, or can I ask one to the other side?
You can totally ask one to the other side.
Okay, cool. So then I'll explore, and then
with the follow-up.
Yeah, and then the second one will be what entities can, and this is to O'Harry, was that it?
O'Henry.
O'Henry. What entities consider the away team to be valuable? Also, I suppose how I would have phrased it if I had my own words were what were they doing there? But then I'm translating that into that. But
I think that they. Okay, so the question is, what entities consider that team to be valuable? There's the people that that team were supplying want very much want the native flora that they provide. So the delay that was encompassed in this encounter, and the fact that the team was at that point on the defensive and paranoid that they'd get tongue shot by Dick-Dicks, or by Squeeze, slowed them down. Go ahead.
Were they smugglers then? Like flower smugglers? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there wasn't anything illegal about what they were doing. It was just that they were just gathering plants that and they were just gathering plants for drugs. The drugs aren't themselves illegal, but there's at least a belief that the wild gathered ones are more potent or just better than ones that are farmed.
Okay. Like wild strawberries versus store strawberries. They're delicious.
See, I guess I'd look at the two of them. I'm like, apart from mine to bang your two heads together, if I had lungs, I would sigh. If I had
that would hurt me more. My head's very tiny.
Yeah. Oh, I should also point out, I think, as part of the answer to that question, that while while the business people who are expecting the drugs are somewhat put out, um, this this whole encounter is enough for O. Henry to complain about, but it didn't actually fuck them up. It didn't mess up their personal supply.
And another one of their traits is patient. So I could do like a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, well.
Yeah, if you do that, I'll complain some more.
Classic Valley.
So, where are we?
I don't know where to stand with either of you. This is saddening, greatly saddening, the pair of you.
It's like I think like Pteranodon, sorry, is actually like disheartened to hear this because they're like, it's like your grandfather saying, could have done better. And they look at O. Henry and like, we had an agreement. You promised that we would have room, and you send people, and none of your people even got hurt. Several of mine died, and that goat. Oh. And they shake their head, and their little tongue flicks out sadly.
Henry replies, "Oh, well, my bad that they were inconvenienced. I mean, if they still need a re-sleeving, you are totally welcome to use my facilities. I don't mind. I'm magnanimous that way.
The goat never
had a sleeve. We're cool folks here.
There was only that one goat.
Oh.
Never again shall it breathe the fresh air of the mountains, or look upon its family." Like a single tear just goes down their cheek. Dude, and then another tear because they have
yeah, dude, that's on you. I mean, if you want a new goat, I'll totally print one for you. It's not a thing.
You're like they're just stomping their little feet. They're just so mad. And everyone's so big.
So I guess I suppose after Terrigen joined the cause, I've like adjusted my size to be like the medium point between the two of them.
Yeah. They look up at you as like, you have to understand, we're just trying to make things better.
For yourselves, perhaps.
And for the new friends we're making.
Are things so terrible for them at the moment? Sentience is as much
They're not even wearing any pants. How would it be to wear pants? Would it wear it like this? And they pull up a display where it's a cross. And then it's got the one with it.
I imagine they would wear some form of togas, but that's neither here nor there. And do they need to know, or do they just want to?
That's what we have to find out.
Henry's like, so like, dudes, are we done here already? So, I guess what I need to know is Pterodon specifically helping Boat to present the ultimatum of capitulate and change your society, or we will do violent things to you. Are you helping in that ultimatum, or?
Well, they didn't hear that.
Yeah.
They don't know that's what's happening.
Yeah.
All they know is they think they've been called to the principal's office for like playing in the science lab after school.
Okay, so
does Boat like send them a quiet message or anything with like what's happening? Like maybe they're a disruptive kid that just needs a new project.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I imagine that you already were aware But I'd probably send you one, and like, yeah, they'd probably chat with you as well to be like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. And I think with that, they'll look at O. Henry and say, we found out a lot about your ecosystem and your caste system, and we're just saying, like, we're not saying, but we are saying, like, if something happens, you should look to within. Like, then calling on the memory of their own faction. Nope, that's not the word. It's too early. Like disagreements, and they're like, you never know when someone from perhaps a lower caste is going to band your folks together and rise up. You'd be fighting on several fronts then, wouldn't you, O. Henry?
All right. So
yeah.
Sounds like
I think they're definitely backing
aiding.
a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll aid or interfere.
Whoop.
What do you know? Not a miss. Okay. When you aid or interfere with another PC that is making a move, roll plus focus. On a 7 to 9, they get +1. If the helping PC gets a 7 to 9, but the acting PC's modified roll is
it moves them up to a 7, right?
It moves it up to a 7. Okay, so essentially, yeah, you're involved in whatever negative outcomes of the given ultimate, but you do, but it is in the 7 to 9 category rather than in the miss category.
Yeah.
So, boat.
You did it. Our violent empire should stretch across the stars.
Under given ultimatum, choose one from the 7 to 9. You must make whatever moves is necessary to begin carrying out your threat. But if that move is a success to comply, or they can begin to comply but organize resistance against you.
I think I'll go with the first one. I'll make a move. You know, I'll show them that I'm not all words and I am some trousers.
Shall we destroy another IHOP?
Mm-hmm.
Poor IHOPs never had a chance.
So much.
Okay, so are you directly initiating direct conflict with the forces of O. Henry?
So it does have like a large military? Is there like a big military industrial complex in it, or are they not that militaristic in general?
Their society is much more geared around hedonism than militarism, but they
destroy their bathhouses.
Yeah, they definitely do have some, at least some automated defenses. They have do they have any? Yeah, they do have automated defenses. Some of which is actually state of the art, although they may or may not be able to bring that state of the art stuff to bear, depending on what your goal is.
Okay,
in the
conflict. So I would like to steal something valuable. I basically want to steal like a transport ship load of whoever have like the roughest deal, whatever, like the lowest, like, you know, the sewer cleaning cast or whoever just have the roughest deal and just steal them and take them to some, like, you know, paradise planet. Because that was one of my threats, that that either I'd remove him or just take his people from him. So I'd like to follow through on my threat, and I don't know if steal something valuable would be appropriate for that.
Okay.
The servant class would be valuable.
Okay, so let me see.
Even just a large transport of them could hurt the system.
Yeah, and it would have the same effect as like if there was a strike, because it would be from a localized area.
Okay. So there's a few, damn it, mechanical hoops to jump through to do that. Let's see. Okay, so I think there's two options for pulling this off. Okay, yeah. So you do need a unit with which to do it, and there's again two options. You can either hire cat burglars, who or essentially cat burglars. They cost they're 6 woofy. But you wouldn't have to. Yeah, yeah. But you wouldn't have to infiltrate. You wouldn't have to infiltrate O'Henry's organization in order to lift a bunch of the people. Or you could take the step of hiring or directing 2 woofy thieves to or 2 woofy infiltration specialists. What do they call clandestine ops? To 3. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry. You can have you can gather some clandestine ops to go ahead and infiltrate them so that later you can steal some people. In which case you'd have to just you'd be against a 3 woofy to grab them, and then you'd have to do the infiltrate roll, and then on a later in a later scene you could steal something. Or you can do the 6 woofy cat burglars, and if you get the cat burglars, then you can go directly to stealing something without this scene.
That sounds great. One question: can I use my fleet of stealth drones to do the infiltration, so I don't have to try and hire the mans from the first option?
I think what I would do is we would do the convenient acquisition roll to see how well your stealth drones qualify as clandestine ops or thieves.
Cool. Okay. So that was a convenient acquisition, did you say?
Yes. And do you want to designate your drones as a clandestine ops unit or as cat burglars?
The cheaper one, the 2.
Okay.
Woofy.
Good deal. Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
It's over 6.
Yes. So 7-9 choose. Okay, so you do have the asset of your drones work as clandestine ops. But you do need to choose 2 things from the 7 to 9 list. And let's start detailing.
So I'll go with someone is spying on me through it, and my Whooping Fortune are lowered by 1 for the rest of the session.
Okay. And do you want to call the? Do you want to call this unit anything particular?
Was in like my my sort of cat burglar drones. I don't think they'd have a particular name.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I will call them clandestine ops stealth drones.
That makes sense. And then now I would be rolling infiltrate.
Whee! Okay.
So close.
Okay, and you are
There's no way I
lowering
can
your
help on
Whoopie and
this,
Fortune
right?
by 1 for the rest of the session, and the other
Someone
thing
is
was they were
spying.
spying. Well, that's really interesting. So I think I do want to let's go ahead and detail these people, these stealth drones some, because I think that's especially given the failure, that's like interesting enough to spend the time on, even though the whole system is being clunky.
Also, keep in mind we have 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is going to be like the final thing, and we'll
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you go to unit traits, which is the handout, pick one.
And this is for the drones.
Yes.
They are they're uncreative.
A dazer. Go ahead and pick another one.
They're green. They're very eco-friendly.
Okay, I think that's plenty. I don't need a third. Okay, and they totally blew this infiltration. Whee! Okay, so I guess the last thing we see is that they these drones like they get reconfigured so that they look sort of like O. Henry's people, at least to boat. They those look like O. Henry's people. That's the style they're using.
Shrug. Organics.
Yeah. And they're sent out to infiltrate, find out what's going on, and they and a little bit later they come back and they say they communicate to you that there's been that they've established local contacts things are going well. They think that they know where where and when the shipments are going. Um, and everything's fine.
Hacking Infinity the Eschaton, where your people tell you everything's fine, and you know it's not true.
Never. It's never fine. It's all right. That if we play this again, we're just going to go to war with everyone. So
yeah,
it'll be great.
That's the plan.
We did it. We played a game. We did character creation, and we built some things, and we actually got some gameplay in the first session.
So there's that. Yeah.
Speedrun, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Like, I'm glad that we got that much done, but this whole two-part thing to doing the organization moves is clearly. I mean, I don't know if you guys find it clunky, but I definitely do.
So some polishing could happen to it, and it would be a little better. Yeah.
Also, give buffs, please. Please give buffs.
Yes.
More buffs?
More buffs.
Mm-hmm.
All the buffs.
Well, I think that's more Roll20 turning against you than
no.
Not being no.
No.
Okay, I'll consider it. I'll consider.
Yeah. Change the whole system. Just change everything. Keep all the labels, but change everything.
We now roll 2d12s, but we use the same brackets.
Yes, I think that seems fair. I think we should agree and then do it. What's the system where you have to roll at least 1 6? See, like Blades of the Dark style for to succeed.
Okay.
There's lots of games that go with that mechanic, but that's
so what I'll do is that you'll roll 2d6, and if one of the dice comes up 6, then it's as rolled. But if neither of the dice is a 6, then it counts as a miss, right?
No, what? No, that's worse. That's worse for us. Disapprove. Vetoed. Vetoed that.
Okay. Well, while I'm figuring out how to make things easier for you, Dazer, could you tell us what awesome stuff you're doing on the internet? I've seen some very cool pogs.
So many things.
What's going on?
So many icons. I'm currently in the process of, hopefully by next month, we'll play a game before then, setting up to do physical streams of paintings and miniature work. And by miniature work, I don't mean like Warhammer 40k. I mean like tile work for RPGs. I mean like actual dollhouse stuff. Stuff like that, and I have a show that I'm working on to get a lot of paintings done for, and I got a bunch of canvases. They're huge, and I love them because they're blank, which means they don't have any flaws on them yet.
They're perfect.
And when I do, and while I draw digitally between now and then, it's at twitch.tv/theposhpanda. I'm on Twitter at Adaser, ADASER, and I'm pretty much just trying to make a whole bunch of stuff, and that's mostly freelance life. But Spook, you always got something going on.
Oh, hi there, Internet. I didn't see you there. Well, it's you look great today, Internet. Oh, yes, good for you, Internet. Good for you.
Okay. So you can find me here at twitch.tv/rpglory or mixer.com/rpglory or archives at youtube/c/rpglory. or Twitter at RPGlory, DOTCOM. And I will be back tomorrow for Call of Cthulhu. Yes, the feline elders have awakened. And it should be interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that will entail, but tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific and find out. And there'll be something on Wednesday around at 11. Well, no, 10 a.m. Pacific. But I'm not sure what that will be. But there'll be some sort of broadcast since I didn't do one this week. And then we'll be back next week doing something cool.
Something, for sure.
Yeah. So thanks again, everybody. And if you enjoyed this, please do like, subscribe, all that stuff. I would very much appreciate it. And I guess that's it. Bye.